It's under 24 hours until midnight. Do you know what your resolutions are? 2018 saw the rise in some healthy and not so healthy trends. Group fitness classes like Orange Theory and Peloton are on the rise, and #MyFavoriteMeds attempted to disrupt the stigma around therapy. But studies are also showing the climb in popularity of the potentially addictive habits like juuling. So what should you take with you through 2019, and what should you kick to the curb? Here now to help is Dr. Jennifer Caudle. She is family medicine doctor. Dr. Caudle, thank you so much for being on the show, and welcome back. We love to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So first off, why are resolutions so important, doctor? Should they really be a priority, or should we try to do better all year round?
Well, so I think the answer to those questions is both. I mean, I definitely want us to do better all year round, but I think of New Year's resolutions almost like a free pass to restart and have a reset, like hit the reset button. I know there are some people that are not really into the New Year's resolutions, but I think it's a great opportunity to kind of renew our goals, reevaluate our goals, and set new ones for the year coming up.
As a doctor, let's break down some of your go-to resolutions. First off, cell phones and social media. We've talked about this at length. Should we scale back or take a break altogether? What's your advice there?
So my advice, it really depends on the person and what's important. You know, honestly, there are some patients that I've recommended that they literally log off of certain social media sites because it really sort of either provokes them or feels like it causes problems to them in their personal lives or their mental health. There are other people who can still use social media but just want to cut back in general. I think the thing about social media, and let me be very clear, it's not bad. Social media and our electronic devices, these are amazing tools to connect with others. But what we also know is that sometimes when we're on our devices, it means we're not connecting with people. And that can lead to social isolation, it can lead to anxiety and depression symptoms. We want to make sure we're connecting with people. So if you gotta just log off completely or pull back, do what you need to do, but make sure you're connecting in real time.
That is really good advice. And Dr. Caudle, we've discussed juuling, you and I. We know it's on the rise, and not much is known about this potentially very addictive habit, which you've said over and over. But what do you recommend for 2019?
Yeah, so, you know, we're talking about vaping, right? It's huge. The use of e-cigarettes is huge. Now, this is what I have to say as a doctor. We know that, yes, there are aspects of e-cigarettes that are safer than traditional cigarettes, but it doesn't mean that e-cigarettes are safe. And that's the bottom line here. Now, I've had patients that have quit smoking traditional cigarettes by using, vaping devices and e-cigarettes, and that's great. I'm a fan of that. But many people actually continue to use e-cigarettes while using regular cigarettes, or they just transfer to e-cigarettes and use them continually. That's what the problem is. So look, if you smoke regular cigarettes or you're vaping consistently, 2019 is your year to stop. We want to avoid putting chemicals in our body that can predispose the risk for lung cancer and so many other conditions. So that should be definitely a priority.
And for many of us, we're often running around, and the first healthy habit to go usually is a trip to the doctor for that annual checkup. Why is it so important not to forget to schedule these appointments, Dr.
Yeah, you know, and this is my wheelhouse, I have to say. I mean, I'm biased because I'm a family doctor, and one of my biggest things is making sure people come to the doctor not just when you're sick, but when you're healthy. And I think sometimes when you're young and you're running around living your life and you're like, I'm doing fine, it can be years before you get to the doctor. But regular doctor's visits that are just for checkups when you're healthy allow us to talk about things that we just need to get through in your life. Things like your family history, your mental health, how you're feeling, your sex life, that's important. Medications or supplements that you might be taking, and vaccines. There's lots of things that we need to be doing to keep your engines running, especially, when you're healthy. So don't just go to the doctor when you're sick. Make sure you see us for that yearly physical.
And earlier we mentioned a new movement that's destigmatizing therapy. How can you turn mental health into a concrete, positive resolution for the new year?
I mean, I'm telling you, mental health is everything. And I think that, something I often talk with my patients about who are coming to see me with concerns about their own mental health is I can't tell you how many people don't realize that others are going through the same thing. Whether it's anxious feelings or depressed feelings or just feeling like you're not right or other things, there are so many of us walking walking around feeling like we could use a little bit of a tune-up. So that's the first thing I want to say is you're not alone if you're feeling like maybe your mental health is not where you want it to be. In terms of stigma, the stigma regarding mental health literally has to go out the window. If you're not feeling right, if you're not feeling yourself, talk with your doctor. There's so many things we can do. Sometimes just a conversation in the office is all we need, but there's therapy, there's medications, there's other stuff. But please don't dismiss how your mind is feeling. It's just as important as your body. Well, it's part of your body. Right. So we have to remember that.
That's fantastic advice, Dr. Caudle. And before I let you go, we've all heard this before. I know you have diet and exercise.
Yes.
How can you change it up so that 2019 doesn't just become another year where workout resolutions die by February? It's happened to me. I'm sure it hasn't happened to you.
Oh, no. It's happened to me.
But how do you make sure these resolutions don't go too far?
Yeah, no, you're right. And I have to say, diet and exercise. I know everybody gets tired of hearing, lose weight, get healthy in the new year. But as a doctor, I'm going to say, let's keep those resolutions going because we know how big of an issue obesity is and some of the downstream effects that obesity can have, such as heart disease, etc. So my little spiel is, it's okay that exercise, diet, weight loss be on your list of resolutions every year if it needs to be. But the big thing to make sure that we stick with it and that we accomplish these goals is, I say, breaking things down into small pieces. Look, if you've never run a marathon, maybe this is not the goal to have. Start by just saying you're going to walk around the block a couple times after work, get a few more steps in, and then work your way up. I think bite-sized pieces are really the way to go to make sure that we're sticking with our goals for the new year.
That's a good way to wrap your head around it. Absolutely. Dr. Caudle, thank you so much for being on the show. It's always such a pleasure to have you here. That's, again, Dr. Jennifer Caudle, and Happy New Year. Hope to have you back here again in 2019. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.